Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back. Today's Daf Yomi is Kesubos, Peidalat. Daf. So we are holding on Pei Gimel and Beis. Perhaps let's backtrack a bit to the beginning of the piece, which is 6 lines from the bottom of the Amud. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer v'chulu. Back to the Mishnah, where a fellow commits in writing to his wife as follows: I am hereby relinquishing, I'm forfeiting specific rights pertaining to the nichse melug, her properties, which are brought into the marriage, from which a husband typically derives several benefits. A, peiros, produce, income flowing in from that property goes to the husband. Number 2, if she should pass away during his lifetime, he is yoresh, he inherits those assets. What if he gives up that right? I am no longer interested in inheriting. Tanakama says it works. He's given it up. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, however, maintains that a husband will still maintain Yerusha rights to those nechasim. The Gemara now will explain why. Why is it so? Look, I gave it up. Why do I still have it? Amar Rav, in fact, the halacha is like this shita. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, that a husband will still be Yerish's wife, despite the fact that he gave up those rights. But, v'loi mitamei, the halacha is correct, but not for his reason. That's it. End of statement. Now the Gemara will embark on a long journey, all the way till the Mishnah, to try to explore and discover what exactly Rav had in mind. I agree to the practical side of what he said. Yerusha is not forfeited, but it's not based on the reason that he provided. It's based on another reason. What's going on? Asks the Gemara, My halacha k'Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel v'loi mitamei. What did he mean with this statement? Halacha is correct, but not the reason. We'll have several attempts until we have a final correct version down at the Mishnah. Attempt number 1. Ilay halacha k'Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel do amar im meisa yurashena. Did he mean the halacha follows Rabbi Shimon? Even when she dies, he gets the Yerusha. The halacha is correct, but v'lav mitamei, not for the same reason that he provided. The ilu Rabban Shimon Gamliel savar, because he held masna amasha kasa b'Torah tuna oibata, when one sets down a stipulation to rearrange a din in the Torah, like marrying an isha, on condition that I'm not committed to those standard, obligations that typically a man commits to. Tuna ibatal, that condition, that stipulation is null and void. That's his shita. Here as well by Yerusha, I can't give up the Yerusha rights which were granted to me, min ha-Torah. The Rav Savar, as opposed to Rav, he holds tana oikayim. When a person stipulates a condition, a tanai, to rearrange, to modify a din Torah, if it pertains to financial matters, it works. So why then doesn't it work when he gives up the Yerusha rights? Because Rav holds Yerushas habal de Rabbanon, as opposed, in contrast to Rabbi Shimon, who holds that the Torah granted Yerusha rights to a husband and his wife's assets. Rav holds it's only mid Rabbanon. V'chachamim asu chizuk l'devreim yosem shel Torah. So although when it comes to a din Torah, you can make it tonight to rearrange the halacha, to give up a right, etc. But when it comes to a din Rabbanon like Yerusha, Chachamim sought to reinforce, to strengthen that halacha, because one tends to perhaps be tempted to neglect a din Rabbanon. We make it strong, we reinforce it, we strengthen it, we give it extra koyach. Don't tinker, don't modify, don't make it tanai against it. Yerusha's habal is the Rabbanon, which does not allow for tanai. So, at the end of the day, both Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel and Rav agree on the halacha. One cannot give up Yerusha rights pertaining to his wife's assets, but for a different reason. For different reasons. According to Rabban Shimon, the Yerusha is given to him in Torah, which doesn't allow for modification. A Tanai against that is batal. Rav maintains Yerushas Habal D'Rabbanan. And that's why Tanai doesn't work, because although you can make a Tanai to modify it in Torah, but not in D'Rabbanan, we want to make it stronger and more weighty. Perhaps this is what Rav meant. I agree to the halacha, but not the reason. Really? V'sava Rav Tanoi Kaim? Is that so? That according to Rav, you can stipulate against the din Torah, and the concern is only because it's the Rabbanan, and therefore it's stronger than Torah. But you can make it tonight to modify a din Torah? That's incorrect. Va'itmar, as we learned, ha'imar l'chaver, a seller tells to a buyer, Al manas she'en lecha alai eina, I will sell you this item on condition. You can never come back and claim that I cheated you. Cheating is asur min Torah. Rav Amar yesh lo alav eina. It doesn't work. The buyer maintains full rights to come back and claim that he was cheated. Why? Rashi on the second line says, "The masna al shal Torah, al toinu." It's a pasuk in Vayikra. Al toinu. Don't cheat. Don't overcharge. You can't go against that. Clearly, Rav holds you cannot make a Tanai against it in Torah. That's Rav Shita. Continues the Gemara, Ushmol Amari, ein lo olav eina. He no longer has a right to claim that he was cheated, because he gave up that right when he agreed to this Tanai. Bottom line is, Rav holds he cannot make a Tanai against the din Torah, which is not consistent with the way we presented Rav before. Elo, says the Gemara, let's relearn that statement of Rav. Halacha k'Rabban Shimon Gamliel, the Omar Hamasna Malkashakasa B'Torah Tanoi Batal. On the one hand, I fully agree with Rabban Shimon. One does not have the ability to make a Tanai to modify a din Torah. But v'lav mitamei, when it comes to this halacha in the Mishnah, I'm not going to follow his line of reasoning. The ilu Rabban Shimon Gamliel Savar, he holds Meisa Yerushena. Although the husband gave up Yerusha rights, he maintains those rights. Why? Because din Yerusha is min Torah. A Tanai doesn't help to revoke that right. For Rav Savar Meisa Lo Yerushena. Rav disagrees. She dies, he does not get Yerusha. Why? Because Rav will hold the Yerusha rights in this case is only midrabanan and doesn't have the same strength and power as a din Torah, and therefore a Tanai against that works. Is this what Rav meant to say? I agree to one aspect of Rabban Shimon. Which aspect? One cannot present a Tanai against a din Torah. But I disagree in the other aspect. If the husband forfeits his Yerusha rights, it works. It's effective. Because that's only midrabanan. And a Tanai will work. Well, says the Gemara, if this is what Rav meant, it doesn't really fit with his wording. Hai mitamei v'lo kilchasehu. It will turn out that he agrees to the concepts of Rabban Shimon. That in concept you cannot make a Tanai against Torah, but in practice, like Kilchasehu, he's not agreeing to the halacha. Yerushas Habal can be given up or not. According to Rabban Shimon, no, because he holds it's din Torah. According to Rav, it could be given up. It's only with the Rabban, so he's not agreeing to him regarding the halacha. So how could Rav say, I agree to the halacha? Attempt number 3. Ella, so perhaps what Rav meant to say is as follows. Halacha k'Rabban Shimon Gamliel de Amar imei Roshana. On the one hand, the halacha will rule like Rabban Shimon. Even when a husband gives up the Yerusha rights, he will maintain those rights. So the halacha is agreed upon, but not for the same reason that he gave. The ilu Rabban Shimon Gamliel Savar, because he held b'daraisa Tanai batal, a Tanai against a din Torah, like Yerusha, doesn't work. Let's make a diuk. Suppose he makes it Tanai to modify a din Rabbanan, that would work. For Rav Savar, on that, Rav takes issue. Afilu b'derabbanan Tanai batal, even pertaining to a Rabbanan, like Rashi says, the ability to get peiros from his wife's assets, T'nai batel, you cannot make a T'nai against that. Taisus disagrees. Peiros he certainly can give up, as we had now Mishnah. Taisus learns we're speaking about general dinei d'Rabbanan, not peiros, which Taisus explained yesterday. It's not something which is a common occurrence, and therefore Chacham allowed a T'nai against it. Doesn't really appear like you're negating a din d'Rabbanan because it's not such a common thing. In any case, Rav is coming to add. Not only can't you make a T'nai against din Torah, you can't even make it against a din d'Rabbanan. So I agree to the idea, to the halacha. You can't give up Yerusha, but I want to add to that as well. You can't even give up other rights. Well, says the Gemara, Hai k'taimei ukihil chasehu. If that's the case, then Rav fully agrees. He sees fully eye to eye with Rabban Shimon, both in matters of halacha and in matters of reasoning. You can't give up the Yerusha, same halacha. The reason is because it's Deiraisa, and a T'nai doesn't work. For Rav Moisifu, Rav is just adding. You can't even give up a Rabbanan. So there isn't really a dispute in terms of the halacha and the Mishnah by Yerusha. They both see fully eye to eye, both regarding the actual halacha, you can't give up the Yerusha, and B, regarding the reasoning behind it, because it's a T'nai against the din Torah. So why did he say, I'm not going along with the reason? Here comes the next attempt. Hella halacha k'Rabban Shimon Gamliel. Rather, what he meant is, the halacha follows Rabban Shimon, the Amar imesa Yerushena. Even if he gave up Yerusha, no, he'll still maintain those rights. V'lav mitamei, but not for the same reason. The ilu Rabban Shimon Gamliel Savar, Yerusha Sabal Dairais. In contrast to Rabban Shimon, who held that Yerusha Sabal is Minat Torah, V'chala Masna, Amal Shakasa B'Torah T'nai Bottle, and presenting it tonight against that doesn't really work. That was his halach and his reasoning. For Rav Savar, Yerusha Sabal D'Rabbanan. Rav maintains the schus to be Yerush, his wife, is only with Rabbanan. So why doesn't a Tanai work? Chachamim asu chizuk l'devreim kishel Torah. Chachamim reinforced a din Rabbanan and gave it the same weight, so to speak, as din Torah, where a Tanai doesn't work. So this will be the final pshat in what Rav meant when he said, I agree in the halacha, but not regarding the reasoning. The halacha, I agree, you can't give up Yerusha, but the reason is different. According to Rabban Shimon, Yerusha is minat Torah. A Tanai doesn't work. I hold Yerusha is minat Rabbanan, but a Tanai still doesn't work. There's no difference between the Rabbanan and the Raisa. Asks the Gemara, Rav Sabar Yerusha Sabal Rabbanan, is that so? That according to Rav, a husband's ability to inherit his wife's assets is only the Rabbanan? We seem to see otherwise. Vatnan. Rabbi Yehuda Kessler, Hayerish is Ishtoi. If a man inherits his wife's assets, when it comes the 50th year, Yovel, where typically all purchased lands revert to their owners free of charge, here as well, Yachsir Lebnei Mishpacha, he should return her land to her family. And although they'll compensate him for it, but he should deduct from the price, give them a discount. That's the Mishnah. What does the Mishnah mean? V'avinima, we asked a kasha. How do we understand the halacha? Micah Savar, Rabbi Yehuda Kessler, who requires a husband to return a Yerusha that he received. Which line of reasoning is he adopting? Ika Savar Yerusha Sabal D'Araisa. If he maintains that the Baal is getting that Yerusha Minat Torah, Amar Yachsir, why in the world would he have to return that asset? Kam Yovel. Only purchased lands go back, not inherited lands. On the other hand, Vidar Rabbanon, if it's only a schus with Rabbanon, in which case we treat it perhaps like a purchase. The Ur Samech explains that on the Rambam. He says it's like he bought it because it's sort of a deal. I give her my commitment, certain things he commits, and she commits certain things to him. Right? So, sort of an exchange, like a purchase. If that's the case, Vidar Rabbanon, he's only getting it with the Rabbanon, then he has to give it back, Kam Yovel, free of charge, like anybody else. Domim, my aviditayu. Why are we speaking about compensation and money? So we're sort of stuck. And who came to the rescue? None other than Rav. V'amar Rav, l'olam kasavar Yerusha sabal daraisa. Rabbi Yehuda Kessler maintains that his Yerusha is minat Torah. If that's the case, why is he even giving it back? Kam Yavel, it's not a purchase. Okay, going, we're speaking about a unique, specific case. His wife bequeathed him. She inherited to him land which included a cemetery, a place of burial, a family burial plot. So now, there's a concern about the family's feelings and sensitivities. They're going to have to bury their people in other people's lands. Other people will use their burial plot. It's not befitting. It's not appropriate, and therefore, Amor Rabbanon made a takana. Although it's rightfully the husband's, give it back, and take compensation. Lishkol Dmei, take the payment of a lahader and let it go back. So minat Torah, it's his. But the Rabbanon give it back for compensation. If that's the case, why is he deducting from the price? What does this mean? Yinaka, take off. To make kever ishtay. You know what he has to deduct? Let's say the plot is worth $1,000, but his own wife is buried there. Who has the obligation to bury his wife? He himself has to pay for that. So you have to deduct that corner of land to make kever ishtay. So he gets back the entire value minus his wife's burial plot. Kedesanya. As we find elsewhere in a different brisa, that when one purchased a beis akvaros, he must give it back. We force him to sell it back. Kedesanya. Hamaycher kivrei v'derech kivrei. If one actually sold his burial plot, or the path leading up to the burial plot, or he sold ma'amadai umakim espedai, where they stand to do the nichem avelim, or they stand to do the eulogy. All these places, they're not meant to be sold, and the family has a right to retrieve them. To maintain the family's honor. The family can go ahead and bury this person in his burial plot against the will of the buyer. Okay, so we see this idea of Kam Mishpacha, which requires this beis akvaros to be returned. Bottom line is, who was speaking? Who was explaining the Shita of Rabbi Yehuda Kessler? Rav. And he explained that the Baal is Yerush Minat Torah. A minute ago you told me that according to Rav, a Baal is only Yerush Minat Rabbanon. That's a stira. Answer, Rav L'tamei. The Rabbi Yehuda Kessler Kamar V'leila Svirli. Yeah, Rav was explaining Rabbi Yehuda Kessler's Shita. Yerush Baal Minat Torah, but he himself maintains it's only the Rabbanon, as per our previous explanation. So bottom line is, if a husband gives up Yerusha rights, does it work? According to the Tanna Kama and our Mishnah, it does. But according to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, it doesn't work. Likewise, according to Rav, it doesn't work. So they both agree on the halacha, but they give different reasons. According to Rabbi Shimon, Yerusha Sabal is Dairais, and you can't go against it. According to Rav, it's only with the Rabban, you still can't go against it. Continues the Mishnah. So we know that a person cannot collect from Yisayimim unless they have karka. A person's a creditor, or an isha collecting or ksuba, etc. They can go to the departed fellow's properties, his assets, his real estate, but not his metaltalin. Here comes an interesting case. Misha meis, v'yiniach isha, ubal chayv, v'yarshin. So this fellow passes away and leaves behind some orphans with lots of loans, lots of obligations. A wife awaiting ksuva, a creditor who'd like his loan back. It so happens that Reuben, who passed away, had left a deposit in someone's possession. He had a pikadon, or a mulva. Somebody owed him money. So the Isha comes and says, look, Mr. Baal Pikadon, you have a deposit that my husband left with you? Or you owed my husband money? Here, go give it to me. So although typically metaltalin, non-real estate items belonging to a yasam, to an orphan, are not meant to be given to a creditor, here it's different. According to Rabbi Tarfon, if they actually take possession, you are teifes. You're not going to collect. You're just grabbing it. Then it works, as we're going to see in the Gemara. But the question is, who do you give it to? We have a whole line of people with their claims. You have the Isha, the Baal Chayv. Who gets priority? Rabbi Tarfon, Yunasnu lekoishel shebehen. Give it to the weakest one amongst them. And the Gemara will explain what that is. Bottom line is, you can collect on this debt, even though it's metaltalin, even though it's yisaimim. Tfisa, grabbing, taking possession, even after death works. Rabbi Kiva Omer, no. Eimer Rachman, but then we don't apply compassion when it comes to matters of law and justice. You don't give it to any of these people. Eli Yinasnu leYershin, give it to the Yershin. It's theirs. It's rightfully theirs. They are muhsak. They are in possession of even something which is not sitting in their home. It belongs to them. And they have first rights. And as we explained, you can't take metaltalin from a yosem. So according to Rabbi Kiva, it's considered in their domain. It's in their possession. You're trying to take it away from them. You can't do that. Why is it theirs? Why is it as though they have it? Very simple. Shekulan tzrichen shvur. We must know another halacha. Upon collection from a yosem, you have to swear to support your claim. It's a takana. So all these individuals, an Isha, a Baal Chayv, they don't have direct access to the Yisaimim's assets unless they make a shvur. That opens the door for their collection. Ve'ena Yershin tzrichen shvur. But Yershin don't need a shvur to collect on their own loans, to retrieve a pikadon, a deposit left behind by their father. So their access is more direct and immediate. They don't need to prove their ownership. They don't need to substantiate their claims. So in halacha, we deem them as the rightful muchzakim. They are in possession. And now when you try to get it from them, by way of proving your claim in a shvur, you're still a step away from it. You have to go take it, extract it from somebody who already has it, i.e. the orphan. You can't do that. It's metaltalin, which cannot be collected from Yisaimim. Interesting twist. Another example is, Hiniach peres telushin, menakarka. A man passes away, leaving behind picked fruits. Kol hakoydem behen, zocha behen. So, whoever gets it first wins. The Yisaimim grab the peres, okay, it's theirs. You can't take it away from them. But if a Baal Chayv, an Isha, grabs it, they can do tefisa, they can grab it, and now it's theirs. What happens if they grab too much? Zochsa Isha yoser miksuvasa. The Isha took more than what was deserving to her, what was coming to her. Ubal Chayv yoser al Chayvai. The creditor took more than was coming to him. What happens to the extra? Hamoisar? The same machlokes as before. A retire from Omer Yinasnu lekoishel shebehen. Give it to the weakest one amongst them, which means the person who's holding a shtar, who has a claim on the Yisaimim. Rabbi Kiva Omer, no, ein marachman, but then don't use compassion. We're not meant to give this to anybody except for the Yisaimim. Eli Yinasnu leYershin, give it to the Yershin, for the same reason we mentioned before. They are rightful owners. In fact, they don't need a shvua to take hold of these items. So it's theirs. It's sitting by them. You're trying to take it away from them. Shekulan tzrichen shvua. All these people, kulam, the Baal Chayv, the Isha, would have to have a shvua to collect. So they're not really in possession. They have to get it. They have to win it. Ve'en ha-Yershin tzrichen shvua. Yershin don't need to make a shvua. It's theirs. It's automatically, by default, theirs. So in effect, when you're collecting this, you're taking it from them. So the Mishnah mentioned two examples. A fellow passed away, leaving behind a pikadon or a milva. In both, we have a machlokes. Rabbi Tarfon says you can give it to the creditor. Rabbi Kiva says no way. Why mention both cases? Is there a chiddush in each one, not found in the other? Yes. Lama li lemisna milva, lama li lemisni pikadon. Why do we need to mention a milva and a pikadon? Tzricha, both are needed, both have a chiddush. Di'i tana milva. Had we only mentioned a loan, that he left behind a loan in the hands of others, perhaps baha. Ka'amar Rabbi Tarfon. Specifically in this case, Rabbi Tarfon maintains that you can go give it to the Baal Chayv, to the Isha, upon his death. Why? Misham de milve lo yitzah nitna. What do you use a loan for? Expenditures. You lay it out, you spend it. It doesn't stay intact, which means that when you want to collect on that loan, you have to actually go find money and collect it. It's not like your money is sitting by that other person. You have to present your claim, extract your funds. So this money is not really sitting in the hands of the Yisomim. It's abstract, it's theoretical, it's just a claim. So this money can be transferred and forwarded to the Isha or to the Baal Chayv. It's not considered taking it from the Yisomim. They don't really have it yet. But a deposit. It's here, it's intact, it's tangible. It belongs to the Yisomim. Perhaps everybody would agree to Rabbi Akiva. It belongs to the Yisomim. It's theirs. You can't take it away from them. No, the Chiddush is, even in this case, you can. Because they're not actually physically holding on to it. Somebody else is holding it on their behalf. And he could forward it to their Isha, to the Baal Chayv, who has a claim against their father. Had we only mentioned the case of Pikadon, perhaps Baha, Ka'am Rabbi Akiva. Specifically here, Rabbi Akiva maintains you can forward it to the other person. Aval Bahach, but in the case of in this case, where it's a Pikadon, it's intact, it's tangible, it's real. Rabbi Akiva says you cannot give it to the Isha, you cannot give it to the Baal Chayv because it belongs to the Yasam. You have no right to take it from him. Aval Bahach, but alone, that's abstract. It's no longer here. Perhaps even he would agree to Rabbi Tarfon. The Yisomim don't have it, and therefore the Isha or the Baal Chayv have a right to go collect that loan to offset their claim against their father. Tzricha, the Chiddush is, even in this case, Rabbi Akiva maintains it belongs to the Yasam and you can't collect on it. Okay, so according to Rabbi Tarfon, the money is given l'koishel shebehen, to the weakest one. Who's that? My l'koishel. We have a machlokes. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Chanina, Aymer l'koishel shebaraya, the one that has a disadvantage in terms of collection. Rashi explains, the one with the latest document, which only allows him to collect real estate sold from that date onward. So he's the weakest one of all, and we give it to him to boost him a bit. Rabbi Yechon, Aymer l'ksubas isha. The choice between giving it to a Baal Chayv, to the Isha for her ksuba payat, you give it to the Isha. Why is she called a koishel? Says Rashi, around 10 lines from the bottom. L'ksubas isha hi kruya koishel. She's called a koishel. She'en darka lachazer acher nichse hameis or lavakesh heichan yeshli karka. Isha is not the type to go and search the properties and the titles and the deeds and collect from his properties. So we give her the available funds. The Gemara says, Mishum China. There's a chen, a grace factor here. Rashi learns, the next Rashi that we just learned, Umishum China, Sheyimtzu Hanoshim, Chen Beini Hanoshim. We want the men to find favor in the eyes of women. They should want to marry the men. Vihu Nisais Lahen. Shalated Agna. La'avsid Ksubas. We don't want women to be concerned that they'll never collect on their ksuba. So to facilitate grace and harmony, to encourage women to marry the men, we give them this advantage. Ketanai, this corresponds with a machlekes Tanaim. What is koishel? Rabbi Yehuda Kessler l'koishel shabaraya, the one that has the latest, the most recently dated loan document. V'hu kasher, and that's the correct approach. Kasher, Rashi says, kasher means v'hadavar kasher v'hogan lasas kain. Interestingly enough, it's very similar to the lashon in Megillas Esther. Esther Chashverosh come to the party. Kasher hadavar la'asoisai. It's the correct thing. So give it to the one who has the least chances of collecting his on his loan. Rabbi Lazar will give it to the Isha to encourage marriage. So that's the first example in the Mishnah. A fellow passed away, leaving behind a milva, pikadna. What do you do with it? Rabbi Tarfon says you can give it to the Baal Chayv, to the Isha. Rabbi Akiva says no way. In the second case of the Mishnah, he left behind fruit. So once again, according to Rabbi Tarfon, they can grab it, but if there's leftovers, where does it go? So Rabbi Tarfon gave us instructions, and Rabbi Akiva says, no, give it back to the Yisraelim. Asks the Gemara, according to Rabbi Akiva, nobody's meant to touch these peiros. Everything goes to the Yisraelim, not only the leftovers. Rabbi Akiva, my area moisa. Why discuss leftovers? That goes to the Yisraelim. Kulu nami the Yershin havu. All the fruit go back to the Yershin. Nobody has a right to touch them. In Echanami, it's true and correct. V'aydi the Amar Rabbi Tarfon moisa. Once Rabbi Tarfon discussed the extras, according to him, the full supply of fruit, go to the Isha, go to the Bachai. This is the extra, it goes back to somebody else. Tana iu nami moisar. So on account of that, Rabbi Akiva also referred to the leftovers. But of course, according to him, all fruits go back to the Yarshin. Really? Why? Because you can't grab something that's metaltalin. It belongs to the Yisraelim. Rabbi Akiva, tfisa loy mahanyu klal. Grabbing, taking possession of metaltalin never works in this case. Amar Rava, Amar Rav Nachman. I'll explain to you. After death, it doesn't work. But during his lifetime, v'hu shetafas mechayim, that works. If somebody grabs a hold of metaltalin during his lifetime, then you have a schus to collect on that. But after his death, it doesn't work. Rabbi Tarfon maintains it does. So we have a case where a fellow passes away. He leaves behind, various items. Rabbi Tarfon maintains that if you grab it before the Yisayim, then you're lucky. Where is this stuff lying? In which case, it's not considered yet in the hands of the Yisayim. It has to be lying in some neutral territory. Rabbi Tarfon demanchi heicha. Where's the stuff lying? Rav Shmuel. The Amrit Tarvayu, V'hu Shetzevurin Umunachem Rishis Rab. In the second case of the Mishnah, where there's some loose fruit lying around, where is it sitting? It's piled up, lying in the middle of the street. It's not a place where you can actually, it's not a private use area. It's a public area. It's not considered in the hands of the Yisayim. They have no control over that fruit. And therefore, by taking it, you're not taking away from the Yisayim. So you could be teifes at that point. Avol b'simtalei, but it's like an alleyway, which sometimes is a venue for personal interaction and kinyanim. Well, in that case, it is considered as though it's lying in the hands of the Yisraelim. They're controlling it. And if somebody approaches that pile of fruit and grabs it, it's as though he's taking away from the Yisraelim. Which you can't do, because it's metaltalin. Even Rabbi Tarfon would agree to that. So that's Rav Shmuel. Difference between the street and the side streets. Rabbi Yechon, they maintain no. I feel a besimta, even if it's an alleyway, it's not their place. So taking it from there is not tantamount to taking it out of the Yisraelim. Bottom line is we have machlekes regarding being teifes metaltalin. If it's meichayim, everybody agrees it's okay. But la'achar misa, Rabbi Akiva maintains it doesn't work. Rabbi Tarfon maintains it does, provided you're not actually taking away from the Yisraelim. You're taking it from a person who's holding a pekadin, you're taking it from the street, etc. Whose shita does the halacha follow? Dain dayani Rabbi Tarfon. So some dayanim followed Rabbi Tarfon's shita that tfisa la'achar misa works. Ve'ahadrei Reish Lakish l'uvda minay. Reish Lakish came along and reversed it. He undid what they did. He gave it back to the Yisraelim, like Rabbi Akiva. Hamalei Rabbi Yehuda. What are you doing? Oh, you're treating it like a lachal mishim Sinai. Fine. Suppose you hold like Rabbi Akiva. Does that allow it to undo what somebody already did? Maybe, lechatchila. Okay, but the evidence done. Who gives you the right to reverse the judgment? Reish Lakish maintains that it's absolute. Rabbi Yehuda maintains. Who says? What's the point of machlekes between those two, between Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yehuda? Whether we insist on following Rabbi Akiva or it's not strong enough to reverse and undo a judgment. Lema b'alkamiflegi, perhaps it's based on the following discussion. The Mar Savar Tov B'dvar Mishnah Chayzer. Reish Lakish holds. The halacha always follows Rabbi Akiva. That's the formula we follow. Halacha Rabbi Akiva when there is just a yachid against them, we take Rabbi Akiva's shita. That's an absolute formula. It's like a Dvar Mishnah. It's an absolute halach. One makes a mistake, he errs. When it comes to a Dvar Mishnah, chayzer, he undoes the judgment. Umar savar tov Dvar Mishnah ain't chayzer. Rish Lakish holds even an error, which is so obvious, you can't revert. Is that the question? No. The kula alma tov Dvar Mishnah chayzer. All agree. Theoretically, if you are toya in a clear-cut halacha, you can go back. Machlekes here is as follows. Mar savar halacha Rabbi Akiva mechaveiroi v'lemi Rabbi. Rabbi Tarfon was a Rabbi Akiva's Rebbe. We adopt Rabbi Akiva's shita when he's in disagreement with his colleague, but not against his Rabbi Tarfon, his Rebbe. This is Rabbi Yechanan. Umar savar halacha afil Rabbi. Rish Lakish says no. We take Rabbi Akiva's shita even when he's in disagreement with his Rebbe, Rabbi Tarfon. Another approach is the kuli alma halacha Rabbi Akiva mechaveiroi v'lemi Rabbi. Everyone agrees. We adopt Rabbi Akiva only when he's in disagreement with his colleague, but not when he's in disagreement with his Rebbe. And the question here is as follows. Mar Savar, Rabbi Yechanan holds, Rabbi Tarfon, Rabbi Hava. Rabbi Tarfon was a Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva, in which case we don't accept Rabbi Akiva against Rabbi Tarfon. Or Mar Savar, Chaveri Hava. Rish Lakish holds he was equal, he was his colleague. Another possibility is, the Kuli Alma Chaveri Hava. All agree, Rabbi Tarfon was Rabbi Akiva's colleague. And the question is as follows. Mar Savar Halachi Itmar. Rish Lakish holds we accepted Rabbi Akiva's shita with absoluteness, halacha. And upon error, we reverse. Umar Savar Matin Itmar. Rish Lakish holds, we prefer Matin, we sort of direct the halacha in Rabbi Akiva's direction, but it's not an absolute halacha, which means that if it's done, otherwise we just leave it alone. Okay, so bottom line is, Rish Lakish insists on following Rabbi Akiva. You can't grab metaltalin after death, whereas Rabbi Yechanan seem to disagree. Kreve, the relatives, the Rabbi Yechanan of Rabbi Yechanan, had a similar situation with Yisayimim. So they were owed money by the father. Now, after his passing, they hadn't yet collected their loan. So what did they do? Tafus paradiyasmi simta. They happened to find a cow roaming in the alleyways. They took that para, they would typhus it to offset their loan. Also, Rabbi Yechanan, Amalu shaper tafastua. So they double-checked with Rabbi Yechanan, and he okayed it, he confirmed, he certified what they did. It's okay that you took it. In accordance to Rabbi Tarfon. Also, Rabbi Shimon Malakish. Next time they met Rish Lakish, they said, look what we did. Amalu, he tells them, quickly give it back. Zilu, go ahead, ahadar. Return it to the Yisayim. You have no right to collect in this fashion. Also, Rabbi Yechanan. They come back to Rabbi Yechanan to relate to him what Rabbi Shlakish said. Amalu, he says, I put my hands up. Ma'esa, what do you want from me to do? Shekenegdi chaluk alai. My equal, Rish Lakish, is chaluk on me. I can't do anything about it. Here comes another story. Ahu Bakra de Yasmi. Bakra, Rashi says, is a fellow who looks after animals, so sort of a shepherd. So he was in possession of an ox that belonged to Yisayim. The Tafsi Tura Minei. So a Balchayv, a creditor of the mace, came to the Bakra and grabbed a shur and walked away. Balchayv Amar, the creditor claimed, Mechaim Tafisnale. Look, I took it during his lifetime. It wasn't La'achar Misa. I have a full right to it. Bakra Amar, but the caretaker said, no. La'achar Misa Tafsa, he took it after his death. You have no right. Also, look at Rav Nachman. They approached Rav Nachman with the Shaila. Omar Lei. So he said to him, I guess to the caretaker, Isloch Sadi the Tafsa, do you have any proof, Adam, witnesses that the other fellow grabbed it? Omar Lei loves. He says, no, I don't have any Adam. Omar Lei, so Rav Nachman tells him, okay, then you're going to lose the case. Why? Migu de Yochel Lameimar. Since the grabber can say, Lo kocha biyadi, I purchased it. There's no way to disprove that claim. He could have said I purchased it. If he would have wanted to lie, he could have lied better. I purchased it. Because we have no proof otherwise. Yochel nami lameimar mechaim tafisnalei. So therefore he can also say, and we have to believe him when he says, I took it during the fellow's lifetime, when he's still alive. That's called migu. Because if you don't trust him, he's lying. He could have lied better. He could have said he purchased it. The fact that he acknowledged that he grabbed it indicates that he's being honest. When he says, I grabbed it during the father's lifetime. I didn't grab it from the Yisraelim. I grabbed it from him. And therefore I get it. Asks the Gemara, how could he have said, I purchased it? What was the migu based on? I could have claimed the purchase. Rish Lakish tells us, Hagoidros, livestock, Eilan Chazaka. Even if you're holding it, you can't say it's yours. Because, these things roam the streets. Maybe you found it on the street, found it in the field. So why would it have been believed had he have claimed otherwise? Shani Tura de Mesir Laroya. An ox is different. It's handed over to the shepherd. It's not roaming the streets. So here, when a fellow isn't actually holding it, it is an indication that it's his. He could have said, I bought it. And therefore you have to believe him when he says, I took it. I was teifes mechayim. The Veinasiyah, some members of the leaders, the Nasi's family, had a similar situation. Tafus, they grabbed, they took possession of Amsa, a maidservant, the Yasmi, that belonged to the Yisraelim, Misimta, who they noticed out in the in the alleyway. So they took it from the alleyway to offset their loan. Yosef Rabavo. So the following Amoraim was sitting together. Rabavo, Rabbi Chanina Bar Papi, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha, and who else? Yosef Rabbi Abba Gabai, who was sitting next to them. Amr Luhu, so the first three Chachamim, who were presented with this question, certified it. They okayed it. They told the base Nasi, the family of the Nasi, Shaper Tafasi Suah. You did right when you grabbed her. You had a full right to take it. Amr Rabbi Abba. So Rabbi Abba turns to them. Why are you okaying it? Just because they are members of the royal family. You're flattering them? It's incorrect. You can't be teifes lachar misa from Yisraelim. In fact, it was a story that Yonim followed Rabbi Tarfon. They gave it to the Balchayv. And Rish Lakish went and reversed it, canceled the judgment. And that's how we paskin. You have no right to grab it. He was a fellow with the name of Yemar Bar Choshu. Hava Masik Bezuzi Baugavra. He had a monetary claim against a certain person, Shachev, who passed away. Vishavik Arba, he left behind a yacht, a ship. Amar Lili Shluchei. So Yemar Bar Choshu tells his Shliach, go ahead quickly. Zil, go. Tafsa, the Ali, grabbed the ship on my behalf. Azal Tafsa, he went and did it. Hagu Beira Papa, Rav Huna, Beri Dervishua. So he encounters these two Chachamim. Amalei, they tell him, no deal. At Teifes, you know what you're doing? Teifes al Baal Chayv, you're grabbing for a Baal Chayv, but you're disadvantaging other people. It's to other people's detriment. You can't do that. There are other creditors who are after the same assets. If it's your personal loan, you have a right to grab for yourself. But you're going to grab for somebody else when it's to the disadvantage of other people. What right do you have to do that? You're not a player. If one offers and grabs, takes possession for a Baal Chayv, in a situation where it puts other people at a loss, you have no right to do that. So you have to let go of the ship. So now they grabbed it. Because they were owed money by this fellow as well. And therefore they had a right to grab it. It was a personal claim. In which case Tfisa works, and the story still continues. We'll see Be'ez Hashem tomorrow what happened. Okay, so in conclusion, one writes to his husband, he commits to forfeiting the Yerusha rights. Does that work? Tanakama says it works. According to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, it does not work because he's a masna mashakasa b'Torah. Yerusha is minatayr. According to Rav, it doesn't work for a different reason. Although Yerusha has habal drabanan, but they made a chizuk kishal Torah. Tonight doesn't work. Mitatlan of Yisraelim, and not meshubah to the Baal Chayv. But if you grabbed it during the father's lifetime, you get it. La'achar misa, like a milva, a pikadon, or peres sitting in the street or in the alleyway based on different shittas. According to Rabbi Tarfon, you get it. According to Rabbi Kiva, you don't. And that seems to be the going opinion in the Gemara that we paskin like Rabbi Kiva You cannot be teifus la'achar misa. All the best to you and hatzlacha Rabbah.